Hi all, my name is Rohit Nandyala, a volunteer here at Friends of Liver Foundation, West Bengal. On the occasion of International NASH Day, we would like to share with you the story of Madhu Augustine's fatty liver condition and how to address this. So first, hi Madhu, how are you doing?
Doing great. How are you?
Doing all right, thank you. Can you tell us a little bit about yourself first off?
Sure. My name is Madhu Augustine. I'm a computer software professional by training, but I've been working in both the software as well as the life sciences industry. So back in 2012, I quit my job and started my own company in the software field. So that's when my interesting journey started, both in terms of profession as well as my health condition. So I would definitely would like to share more about that later.
Yeah, sure. That's great to hear. And now moving more into the fatty liver condition, how did you learn about your NAFLD condition?
Right. So after I started my company, I used to travel quite a bit. The job, of course, is stressful. You're always looking for new clients and trying to finish projects on time.
Mm.
So naturally, like a lot of founders do, I also forgot about my healthy lifestyle, like exercise and good food and stuff like that, right? So a lot of travel means not eating on time, and then not exercising on time.
Mm.
And on top of that, we also moved our family back into India, so which means quite a bit of travel back to US. So I did do this for about 4 or 5 years. And that's when I started noticing some issues in my stomach. So I could feel like a gassy condition both on the left and right side of my stomach, right below the lungs and the heart.
Mm.
So that's when I first noticed that something is wrong. So, but I didn't know exactly what that was, and I also gained a little bit of weight. And then I went to a doctor who did some checkups, but didn't know exactly what the issue was. So he put me on some medication. But this continued for a while, and that's when I decided to go to a gastro
Gotcha.
specialist. And then he did a liver function test. Then so that the liver enzymes were really high. I mean, it was above 100, right? So and he put me on some medication, and then we also did an ultrasound. And that's when they noticed that the liver was getting worse in terms of it was even getting close to cirrhosis. I mean, not really cirrhosis, but it was progressing towards cirrhosis. So that's how we detected it. And the surprising thing to me was it took a while for us to detect it.
Mhm.
And I guess that's one of the characteristics of this disease, right? So you don't really notice it immediately. It happens over time
Yeah,
when you don't eat properly and when you don't exercise properly.
and that's what makes it all more, scary and dangerous when you're not able to sense it until a much longer
Right.
period of
Yeah.
time. Yeah. Well, thank you for that background. And now to the next step. You kind of addressed this, but how did you really go about seeking care and addressing the situation? You took a while to recognize, okay, I have this condition, and then where did that treatment part come in?
Right. I mean, as I mentioned, it really took for me to be really uncomfortable to seek medical care. Right. Until then, I was kind of ignoring. I thought, yeah, it's because I'm not really eating right or I'm traveling too much. I'm stressed out. But then the key was actually deciding to go see a doctor.
Mm.
Right. And then first I went to a general physician, which didn't help much. I mean, he was focusing more on the symptoms and trying to treat those symptoms, giving me medication to bring down the enzymes and not really focusing on the underlying condition. Only when I went to a specialist, I realized that the issue was something different, and then we need to address it slightly differently.
Mhm.
And from that time onwards, I really changed the way I ate, the way I lived, the way I slept.
Mm.
So that helped quite a bit. And then at that time, we also were in the COVID situation, the lockdown situation, and I couldn't travel and I couldn't do much. So that helped a lot. So it was a blessing in disguise for me personally, being able to stay in one place and focus on my health.
Yeah, that's good that it worked out for you like that in a way. And last but not least, what piece of advice would you have to anyone listening to this video? Something that you can share?
Right. Yeah, I mean, as professionals and especially as company founders and entrepreneurs, it's really easy to forget about everything else and focus only on your product or your company, right? You easily forget about your health conditions, your exercise, your food. But the key thing to remember is health is the number one priority. Without health, it's very difficult to do everything else. And then when you have a condition like this, then you have to spend a lot of time treating it, right? Go to doctors, get tests. And so the best medicine is to prevent it. So prevention, like they say, prevention is better than cure. So whatever the situation is, just focus on exercise, focus on eating right, eating on time. Even that is very important. And then following basic diet principles. You don't really need to give up a lot of things, but just limit the quantity and eat what you like. And then complement that with exercise. And then everything will fall in place. But the key is if you're feeling uncomfortable, just seek medical care, go see a doctor. And if it is something related to your stomach or any of that area, just go see a gastro specialist. And then start from there. Start from the basics and start small. And then it will reverse itself.
Yeah. Yes, I see like two takeaways. One is, if you feel something happening, better to be safe than sorry, just get it checked. Because again, like you mentioned in your case, you didn't really know that this was happening until much later. And you just thought, oh, it's like, and then also the other thing is, you're so involved in your work as a founder of a company, as an entrepreneur, and you want to just not do nothing but focus on that. But if you actually encounter such a condition, then you're going to spend more time in taking care of treatment and all those things. So it's actually just going to take away more of your time. So yeah, better prevention than cure, like you said. Thank you so much. We're really fortunate to have you join us and share your personal story. Thank you for doing that, especially on the occasion of International NASH Day. Friends of Liver Foundation sincerely thanks you for your time, and we wish you the very best. Thank you so much.
My pleasure, and very glad to be of help.